Hello, today we are going to see the analysis of coal. Before starting the analysis of coal, we are going to see what are the purpose for that the coal is analyzed. Now, the coal is analyzed for first thing to determine its quality. Okay. So, depending upon what quality of coal is present, we can decide its price. So, we can say that to determine the price of a coal. Okay. Then the third point is it is also analyzed for the calculation of a theoretical value. And after that it is also analyzed for what specific purpose it is used for. So, the coal which is determined its quality, then how much price it can give, then its theoretical value, okay, that is a calorific value, and then at last the purpose for what the coal will be used. So, these are the purpose for which the coal is analyzed. Now, when the coal is analyzed, it can be classified into two. First one is proximate analysis and second one is a ultimate analysis. Okay. Now, under the proximate analysis, the points like percent moisture, these are the important parameters that we study under the proximate analysis. Percent moisture, then percent of a volatile matter, then the percent of a ash present in a coal, and the fourth one will be the percent of a fixed carbon. Okay. So, these are the four different points or parameters that will be studied under the proximate analysis. Whereas, in ultimate analysis, we are going to see the percentage of a carbon and hydrogen, right. Then, we are going to see the percentage of nitrogen and sulfur. Then, the percentage of the ash. Okay. So, these are the different parameters that we are studying under the ultimate analysis. Now, what is the difference between them? First is the proximate analysis, which is very easy and faster to give the different values. Okay. Whereas, the ultimate analysis is in detail analysis. So, now firstly we are going to start with the proximate analysis. Okay. Under the proximate analysis, our first parameter will be the percent moisture. Now, whenever we study the moisture content, it has very significant value. Okay. Whenever we say that the percent moisture is more in a coal, that time its quality is not that good. So, for a better quality of a coal, its percent moisture should be always less. Okay. So, as good, the less percent moisture, the good quality of a coal is obtained. Okay. Now, there is a detailed procedure for the moisture content. The first thing is empty crucible. Okay, the empty crucible is taken and it's plus we take a sample coal in it. Okay. Now, empty crucible plus sample, it is termed as a M. The crucible is empty plus a known weight of a sample is added in a crucible and it will termed as a M. Okay. Then secondly, this crucible will be heated for 110 degrees Celsius for 1 hour. Clear? So, this is a condition that our crucible will be heated for 110 degrees Celsius for complete 1 hour. After that, the crucible will be taken out from the oven and it will be cooled in a desiccator for almost 10 to 15 minutes. Once the crucible is cooled, then we take its weight again. Weight of crucible after heating. Crucible plus sample after heating. Okay. Now, after heating, what happens? The moisture goes away and that weight will be taken as M1. Okay. So now our loss in weight will be m minus m1. So it is very clear that loss in weight will be m minus m1. Okay. Now how to determine a percent moisture? The formula will be percent moisture is equal to loss in weight divided by weight of coal sample into 100. Okay. So this is what is the determination of a percent moisture in a coal sample. Very simple procedure. The empty crucible plus sample, its weight is taken as m, then weight of crucible plus sample after heating for 110 degrees Celsius for 1 hour, and it is cooled in a desiccator, and then its weight is taken m1. Okay, now cooling in a desiccator means what? It is kept in a desiccator in order to avoid a moisture, outer moisture to be absorbed by the crucible. If it is kept directly outside the oven, what will happen? The surrounding moisture will be absorbed in that crucible, and hence what will happen? The weight will increase. Instead of there will be a decrease in weight, there will be a increase in weight. Hence it is kept in a desiccator. So the loss in a weight is determined by m minus m1, and the percent moisture is equal to loss in weight divided by weight of coal sample into 100. Okay. So our first parameter is over then. So we can write in bracket over here that the percent moisture is equal to loss in weight divided by weight of sample into 100. This is a formula that we are going to use for a numerical purpose. Second is a volatile matter. Now percent volatile matter, it is again very important one, because if the volatile matter is more in a coal sample, what happens is its calorific value decreases, okay, as well as its flame temperature is also decreases. Hence we say that if the coal sample has a less volatile matter, then the quality of a coal is good. Okay. Now the procedure is again very simple. The coal sample which is previously used for the moisture content is taken again. Okay. Now here we have taken m and m1. Initial weight was our m and m1. Now here in volatile matter we will take initial weight as a m1, means a crucible before heating will be m1. So m2 will be what? The crucible will be heated at 925 degrees Celsius, okay, just for 7 minutes, okay. Means the same sample which was taken for determination of a moisture will be taken here, okay, and it will be subjected to the 925 degrees Celsius for 7 minutes. After that, that will be our m2 weight, okay. So now m1 minus m2 is what? Loss in weight. So m1 is initial weight of a crucible, initial weight of crucible, okay, whereas m2 is after heating at 925 degree Celsius for 7 minutes. Clear? So there will be a loss in weight which is equal to m1 minus m2 divided by weight of coal sample into 100. So this is a formula for volatile matter. Clear all of you? Volatile matter is equal to initial weight of the moisture content, okay, minus after heating to the 925 degrees Celsius for 7 minutes. So this is a formula that is derived for a volatile matter. So here it will be m1 minus m2 divided by weight of sample into 100. Now third one is a percent ash. Which is again very important, percent ash. It is again a very important parameter. Here the coal which is subjected before all this test, moisture completed, then volatile matter, then this test is performed. Now here the coal sample is taken and it is heated for 750 degrees Celsius for half an hour. Okay, that means for moisture it was heated up to 110. Here it is heated up to 925 degrees Celsius for 7 minutes for 1 hour, and now 750 degree for half an hour. Now again the crucible which is having a sample before, okay, is taken as M2 minus when that crucible is heated for at 750 degrees Celsius for half an hour and again cooled in a desiccator, and the weight is taken as M3 divided by, okay, so all that sample is heated at 750 degrees Celsius for half an hour. Okay, so we say that whatever the after burning, whatever the sample after burning is remain is our ash. Okay, so it is just M3 divided by weight of sample into 100. Okay, now here the initial weight and after weight is not taken because after heating up to the 750 degrees Celsius it is completely burned. So that coal is completely burned and whatever it is remaining is a completely ash. Hence we write down a percent ash. So whatever the weight obtained after burning the coal, whatever is remaining, that is our M3. So no need to take a M2 and M3 again and again. It is just after burning at 750 degrees Celsius, whatever the particles are remaining, that is our M3 weight and divided by weight of sample into 100. It determines our percent ash. Okay. So the after that next important parameter is a fixed carbon. Okay, it is a fixed carbon. Its calculation is very simple. That means actually how much percent of a carbon is present in a coal. It determines how much percent of a carbon is present in a coal. So we can say that as much as this amount is more, our quality of a coal is very good. Okay, so if the fixed carbon is more, the quality of a coal is very good. So it is having a very simple formula. Consider the coal sample as 100%, okay, minus percentage of a moisture plus percentage of a volatile matter plus percentage of a ash. Clear? So it is very simple. 100 minus percentage of a moisture plus percentage of a volatile matter plus ash, which gives you the percent of a carbon. Okay. So this part completes our proximate analysis, which includes a 4 parameter and which has very significant role, okay, in deciding the purpose of analyzing. So next is we are moving towards the ultimate analysis. Now ultimate analysis tells you about certain parameters like percentage of a carbon, percentage of a hydrogen, nitrogen, sulfur and ash. So the first parameter in a ultimate analysis is percentage of a carbon and hydrogen. For this we are going to see a schematic diagram. Okay. So this is an inlet, actually it is an inlet for oxygen. It is free from moisture. This part is very important, free from moisture. Okay. This is a porcelain dish. Here is the furnace. The role of furnace is to heat. This is a porcelain boat where actually a coal sample will be placed. Okay, this is a porcelain board where the coal sample is placed. Porcelain dish. This is a copper gauze, CuO gauze. Now here there is a U-shaped tube. That U-shaped tube contains a calcium chloride which is anhydrous one. This is a calcium chloride anhydrous. Okay. This is attached to a bulb which contains KOH in it. It contains a KOH solution. Okay. Now it is very interesting that a coal to be sampled, analyzed is kept over here. Okay. Now this is a furnace where the heating takes place and oxygen is from the inlet of oxygen is from here. Now after heating this coal, it will be decomposed, okay, into carbon and hydrogen. Oxygen coming from this will react with this carbon and hydrogen, and that gases will pass through this tube. Our moisture, that is H2O, will be absorbed here and CO2 will be absorbed over here. Now what exactly reaction takes place, that we are going to see. Firstly, we will see about a water molecule, hydrogen from coal. Okay, this is a hydrogen from coal, H2, and this is a oxygen coming from a inlet. So plus half O2 after heating hydrogen and oxygen coming from this. So H2 plus half O2 will give you H2O. Clear? This H2O formed over here will go in this direction and will be absorbed in a U-shaped tube where calcium chloride is placed. Now what reaction takes place over there is, calcium chloride is initially anhydrous. So plus 7 molecules of H2O can be absorbed by this calcium chloride. So the purpose of this is absorption of a water molecule, which will give you CaCl2 7H2O. What is the exact procedure here is, this U-shaped tube is already pre-weighted, okay, its weight is already taken, and then after this reaction, once the moisture is absorbed by this U-shaped tube, calcium chloride, then its weight is again taken and determined how much is the increase in a weight. So initial weight can be X, and after that the weight of the U-shaped tube will be X1. So which will tell you how much moisture is absorbed. Clear? So this is the reaction that is taking place over here. Similarly, what happens to the carbon is, carbon when the coal is heated, it is giving you the carbon also, okay, and oxygen coming from this. So carbon plus this oxygen will give you CO2, okay. Now this CO2 will not of course absorb over here, it will go in this way and it will be absorbed in a KOH. So what will happen? The reaction here will be KOH plus CO2 will give you K2CO3 plus H2O. Okay. That means this KOH bulb will be pre-weighted. After heating a coal, how much the amount of carbon dioxide is formed, that will get reacted with this KOH and its weight will increase, and that increase in weight will determine how much carbon dioxide is produced and ultimately how much is the percentage of carbon in it. Okay. So, this is a very simple procedure, and these are the two reactions that takes place in a U-shaped tube and this KOH bulb. Okay. And by this we can determine the percentage of carbon as well as hydrogen. So, the formula for percent carbon is equal to, okay, weight of CO2 formed divided by weight of sample into 12 by 44. 12 is what? 12 is the atomic weight of carbon, 44 is of a CO2 into 100. So, this is a percent carbon. Then regarding the percent hydrogen, weight of H2O formed divided by weight of sample into 1 by 18 into 100. Okay. So, this is a percentage of carbon and hydrogen. Thank you.